Hello and welcome to True Crime Diary, in which we take a light-hearted look at a serious subject. Every 2 weeks we look back through the stories of true crime to find an event that took place on this week in history. I'm your host Mark DeCano, and with me as always are my friends Jed Lester.
Hello.
And Rue Turner.
Hello.
Please leave a review on Apple Podcasts if you can, and if you can't, you can always email us to stuff@truecrimediary.co.uk. And in appreciation of every 5-star review, we'll give you a shout out on a future episode.
So the date we're looking at this week is the 17th of June, and in 1934, William Vinicum, a clerk at the left luggage office of Brighton railway station, noticed a smell coming from an unclaimed plywood trunk. The police were called and they opened the trunk to discover the dismembered torso of a woman. A short time after, a call to other stations led to the discovery of another trunk at King's Cross in London containing the unfortunate woman's legs. The press referred to the unknown victim as the girl with the pretty feet.
Really?
Yeah.
I just imagine the memo that went out to the train stations to go and smell the cases.
Smell my trunk.
Wait, you want me to track the smell? No. My sniffing tracking days are way behind me.
What, was this both found on the same day?
No, it was a short time between them. So they found the torso in Brighton station. They sent the word out to other stations, so say, check your luggages. And
yes.
everything. And at King's Cross they found part 2 of the woman.
I wonder if they started off together and one of them changed at Gatwick or something.
I'm sure she started all together.
She did, yeah.
That's one thing we could assume is that it was
so they
were
are
together initially.
Connected. They were literally connected.
Well, they were literally physically connected at one point, and then they were disconnected.
Right. So, what did the police initially suspect?
Well, weirdly, they suspected foul play. What with her being dismembered and put in trunks and sent on train journeys.
If that happened today, what's it technically called? The Brighton trunk murders.
The Brighton trunk murders.
It'd be called the Brighton wheeled suitcase murders.
The trunky murders.
Because it was only about, I'd say, not even 10, no, probably a bit more than 10 years ago that suitcases finally got wheels.
Yeah.
Trunks would have been plywood trunk. I mean, how heavy would that be?
Wild since anyone's had a wooden trunk.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then a trunk.
A steamer trunk.
And even then, wheels, forget it.
Yeah.
You're going to have to lug this.
How am I going to carry this massive
So when you're
thing?
designing something which empty weighs 20, 30 kilos, that's the time you put the wheels on.
Yeah.
Right there.
But it's a recent phenomenon. Is your wheel?
It is recent. But that's the other thing, because when I always think of these big steamer trunks and everything, you always see the images, the old movie images of
a leather
the dock workers, loading the ocean liners. First thing they do with a big pile of trunks is they put it on a wheeled dolly and wheel it in. It's like, has no one looked at that?
I know, yeah.
Why don't we put the wheels on to start with?
Yeah.
I hate to ask this, but I know the way these podcasts go.
Yes.
Did the 2 trunks comprise the whole of her?
They did not. No, it was torso and legs. The head and arms weren't found.
Had no head and arms.
But her feet were.
But her feet were,
and they were very pretty.
Very pretty. They were said to be. They looked like they were dancers.
Yeah, right.
Have they seen a dancer's feet?
Well, not in isolation. I actually didn't.
They're some of the messiest things I've ever seen.
They are, aren't they? I've seen dancers' feet.
Builders' hands.
I know they are. I've seen ballet
scars and calluses and warts.
Ballet dancers' feet. I've seen ballet dancers, and they are a mess.
My feet hurt.
Maybe she had nice shoes on. They were pretty. The girl with the pretty shoes.
I couldn't see her toes.
I'd suggest she'd never danced in her life.
Well, we don't know, do we? Do we know anything about?
No. Well, you know she was 25.
Okay. You always know the age. I always go. How do you know? You always go straight for the age.
No arms.
We don't know anything
head.
about
her.
her.
She's 25.
She had lovely feet, and she was 25.
That's all we need to know.
Yeah, she had her birth certificate tattooed on her knees.
The other woman, the Thames Torso man.
Yeah.
You didn't know anything about her, but you knew her age.
Yeah. Well, again, have you never seen Bones?
Was it the same? Yeah, but they.
Or have you never seen an episode of Bones?
They debone her to find.
They debone her? Were you saying she was filleted?
I don't know. Am I?
I don't know. What are you saying?
Well, I don't know how they know.
Look at the bones.
You could have
You can dig up prehistoric people and say, "Oh, this person was male, female, this age, this was what they ate,
Yeah, you could look at somebody's feet alone and have a general idea of where...
what their foot size was.
How...
Yeah. Can you?
yeah.
I mean, obviously, baby feet.
Baby feet. These are the feet
Dancers'
of a
feet.
child.
I don't know then.
Baby feet, old ladies' feet,
Yeah.
somewhere in between.
In between, yeah.
Okay, all right. Fine.
Mystery soul.
Stand corrected.
As in the torso mystery of which we spoke previously. Yes,
Yes.
25 and 5 months pregnant.
Oh.
Now, no more than that was known. She was otherwise unidentified. Enter, here's a bit of an aside, enter someone we haven't talked about, but we really should have talked about up to this point, because we've given a fair bit of outing for Mr. Albert Pierpoint.
We have, yeah.
Another character who...
Friend of the podcast.
Friend of the podcast.
Yep.
The late friend of the podcast, Albert Pierpoint. Here's another character we should have probably mentioned up until now, but we haven't. Sir Bernard Spillsbury.
Oh, right.
Are you familiar with Sir Bernard Spillsbury?
Was he in the same racket of hanging?
No, he was
The uncle of the doughboy.
Spillsbury, not Pillsbury. Shout out to Pillsbury Toaster Pockets, best thing ever made. Don't make them anymore, sadly.
Not a
I
sponsor.
was going to say, I look forward to a free one of those.
Well, you can get them in America, but they don't make the pizza ones. Why don't you make the pizza ones, Pillsbury?
Yeah.
Damn your eyes.
Anyway, back to the headless
So,
torso.
Sir Bernard, not Pillsbury, Sir Bernard Spillsbury, he was pathologist, turn of the century pathologist, and he carried out post-mortems on the Crippen case, the Snedden case, the Snedden poisoning, the Brides in the Bath killings, the Armstrong poisoning, the Podmore case, the Blackout killer, the Blazing Car murder, all huge cases at the time. He was the pathologist on those cases.
Because he was the best one or the most experienced one.
He was the best.
And once you've done a couple, you get called in for the other one and it just snowballs, I guess.
Yeah,
I don't know, really.
He was very good witness in court as well, because he absolutely dominated the courtroom, and people were like, really, he was a very charismatic character.
But he would have just dealt in fact as opposed to opinion, so he wouldn't he?
You'd hope.
Well, I would assume so. Yeah.
Yeah.
These are the facts of the case, and they are undisputed.
So the Pierpoint thing, it was because there weren't many hangmen, and he got a main contract.
Some of the big cases.
But this guy
he was
is
the most efficient.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this guy was more just the best at what he does.
Yeah. I'll say he was criticised a bit later on in his career because he seemed to be he was very confident, but he clearly became overconfident in his own infallibility.
You're no match for my brains.
He always worked alone. He wouldn't do academic research and things like this, so he got a lot of short shrift from some quarters.
No academic
research. Yeah.
So what's he basing his funding?
That's what I mean.
Yeah, he didn't do like a lot of peer review stuff, but he had known things, and he would highlight them.
It seems like he didn't think anyone was
His
a peer of his, maybe.
His experience, I suppose.
Yeah, he when you see a crime scene, they'll have detectives and they'll have like a murder bag, so they'll have the evidence bags and like tweezers and gloves and all that stuff. That was his idea. He came up with that.
Yeah, right.
In the 30s.
Did he come up with the white line around there?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Because that's quite a good idea.
Yeah, that's a SOCO thing. In the US they call it a CSI, I think, or at least the TV would have us believe.
Yeah.
Crime scene investigator. In Britain it's called a SOCO, which is a
SOCO.
Yeah, scene of crime officer, SOCO.
Yeah, right. Do they do? They don't do that over here, do they?
What, the chalk line?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Do they?
No.
Well, I don't.
Or do they?
I'm
I don't
assuming
know.
they don't. But
Well, they would have done at one point. I don't think they do it now. I think that's a
don't know.
50s, 60s thing.
is it?
I think so.
Seems a bit.
Don't know. Not part of my
I don't
research.
even know why you would do it.
Well,
for the
so you can
photograph.
remove the
You remove the body,
and then carry on with the crime
yeah,
scene.
and then the crime scene investigators will do their investigating. So this is where he was. If he was here, and the shooter's over there,
Yeah.
I'm doing a lot of miming.
And pointing.
Pointing.
It's great radio.
Yeah. It's not more of a visual aid, but yes.
It's basically, the Men at Work sign.
Yeah.
It's that person that's died. The style of
What,
the outline of the body.
Yeah.
Hang on. Did he? Have I just made up? Do I think now that man invented it?
Well, I'm not aware that he made that, but
Okay.
someone could have done it.
He didn't then.
No, he probably didn't. I know one thing about him. He was involved in some. It's again, and I'm doing a tangent of a tangent.
Good.
So
I like them.
during the war, he assisted in a project called Operation Mincemeat,
Oh yeah, I know that.
you know about
Yeah,
that?
I know that. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, yes.
Which is a fantastic.
Yeah, it
story.
is. It's
Yeah,
brilliant.
It is.
Must admit, I can't remember why it's called mincemeat. But anyway, it's
Well,
absolutely mega.
Let's put it this way: a very well-known pathologist was involved in it in mincemeat.
Oh,
So,
really?
Yeah.
Oh God.
So the story is.
I
this
gave
is,
you mincemeat tonight. Think on.
Hang on a minute. So, very briefly, the story of Operation Mincemeat is it was a diversionary tactic. Britain did an awful lot of pretense and bluffing to try and
Yes,
divert the
double
Germans to what we were
agents
doing.
and-
You know,
yeah,
the
yeah.
dummies for the Normandy landings, the fake army at Dover to make them think we were invading at Dover. That sort of
Yes.
thing. One of them was when they were going to attack Sicily and Italy. They did a diversionary tactic to make the Germans think that Britain would invade Greece. And what they did was they got a dead body.
Yes, it was, and they dumped it in the
Dropped it out
sea,
of a
didn't
plane.
they?
Yeah. And
And
they
then
dressed
they
it up and with it
deliberately
had plans
made it-
saying about the invasion of
Yes.
Greece.
They instigated so it was found
Yeah.
by
so the Germans found
the Germans.
the dead
right,
body
okay, yeah.
with all the plans on it, and then radio traffic basically said, "Oh, they're going to invade Greece."
I mean, that is
But the whole
ab-
time we were going to invade Italy through Sicily.
I mean, that is a mega, isn't it? I mean, that said, understandably, the first question is, hang on, whose body was that? But it was
Well,
I
it
don't
had
know.
all identity papers and everything on it, so they had
Yeah,
no
no, I know
reason
it
to
is. Yeah,
suspect who it was. Now that was based on an idea that was called the Trout Memo. Came up with the idea, and it's based on trout fishing. It's about a lure,
Yes.
luring
Yeah,
them
yeah.
in. And that memo
Not
was
because he swam with the fishes.
not because he swam with the fish. That was written by two men: the director of naval intelligence, who was named Rear Admiral John Godfrey, and his assistant. And his assistant's name was Ian Fleming.
Oh, yeah. Was he really? I'm trying to remember where. Well, anyway, yes, he was highly, highly experienced in those
Yeah,
espionage.
yeah, big on the spyage.
Yeah, and
Yes.
put it to use.
Put it to great use. Anyway, that's the story of Operation Mincemeat and Sir Bernard Spillsbury. Sadly, Spillsbury he lost two sons during the war, and he didn't have a very great life after that. He took his own life after the war because of his sadness.
Yes,
But he
That's
made
terrible.
but he did despite later. Let's say his discoloration of his career, he did contribute an enormous amount, and he was involved
Massively.
in a lot of important cases. as well.
Yeah.
So there you go. So the case that we're talking about, the trunk case, now, despite all of this investigation and the study of the body and everything else, it was not solved. However, it led to something quite interesting.
So the thing that we're about to talk about is what hasn't been solved.
No, the thing we're about to talk about is the other trunk case.
The one in London.
No. Stay with me.
There was another one in
In
London.
the course of investigating this Brighton trunk case,
Yes.
they found another Brighton trunk case.
Oh, okay. All right. Because there was another smell in the other side of the room. Hang on, it smells still here. So just investigation. Well, how does that lead to another? What? Literally finding a body in a case.
They found another trunk with another body in it.
Right.
Unrelated, entirely unrelated to this. But because they were looking into this case, they found the other one.
Unrelated.
Completely unrelated.
Really?
Yeah.
All right, fine. I bow to your. Seems a bit.
If you're going around sniffing trunks, you'll probably find things.
Yeah.
I suppose so.
As a rule of thumb. Just keep sniffing, you'll find something.
Yeah.
And you got to keep on keeping on.
I can't. I think they're related.
Do you?
Don't know.
So let me tell you then the story of Tony Mancini and Violet Kay.
No, not. I'm thinking of Henry Mancini.
Spanish flea. That's, yeah.
Is that Henry Mancini? Hey, Tony. Anyway, carry on. Tony.
Tony. So Tony Mancini, 26, and Violet Kay, 42, They had a tempestuous relationship. They'd met in London, where Kay had been a dancer and a prostitute. Mancini was a waiter and a bouncer. Now, they moved to Brighton in 1933, and they moved around living at various addresses using different names, and because of their changes of address, changes of alias, they were known to the police, okay?
This is Brighton, south coast of the UK, isn't it, Mark?
It is.
Okay.
Where are you
Just
thinking?
checking.
Well, what other Brighton is there?
Brighton.
Loads of Brightons.
Is there? You can't move for
The
Brighton. That's around
Brighton.
here.
You can't
For,
move.
for Brighton.
Well, anyway, for our foreign
Capital B.
for our foreign listeners, south coast of England, 50 miles south of London, basically.
Yeah. So they're known to police. They had quite a number of public arguments, although witnesses later would say they had a good relationship, so take of that what you will. On the 10th of May in 1934, Kay, while drunk, had a very public blow-up at a seafront cafe.
Is that your birthday?
Yes, it is. Yes.
That's ruined. I bet that ruined it.
Yeah.
Those people.
10th of May
shouting.
is a very significant day in history. Look it up. Everything
Is
good.
it really?
Everything that ever happened on that day.
Everything that's ever happened.
Yeah, everything ever. Trust me on this.
So they had a big shouting match and ruined your party.
Ruined my birthday, yeah. She accused Mancini of being over familiar with a teenage waitress.
Hey, how you doing?
Okay.
But the funny thing is that the next day, Mancini told friends that Kay had moved to Paris. And he gave some of her clothes and personal effects to the waitress, Elizabeth Antrell.
Literally the next day. Yeah,
the
he's
next
just
day.
moved to
Yeah.
Paris. Yeah.
She's moved out, yeah.
Okay.
Now, he then moved to...
Paris.
he moved to a flat in Kemp Street, Brighton.
Kemp Street. I know where that is. Yeah. My cousin used to live one road over in Tidy Street. And there's another road. They're all
Unkempt Street.
no. It was. There's another
Dirty
road.
Street.
One road over called Over Street. But they're all, just to paint the picture, they are all kind of terraced. Kind of. They're all 3-story, but
Like townhouses.
yeah, they are. But they're
narrow ones.
yeah, very kind of bit musy.
Musy?
Yeah.
Amusing.
Tight, no garden. None of them got gardens for some reason. Brighton's not big in for gardens.
You got
Just-
to see. What do you need?
They're
Well, yeah,
clustered
I
by the
wonder if that's the reason. But hardly any of them got garden. All these loads of houses.
Why
in
have a
Brighton.
garden when you can go on the beach?
Yeah. Well, anyway, it's a small. I'm going to say slightly older than Victorian terraced houses. So they lived in one of those.
In one, well,
houses.
the flat.
Well, they lived in various houses. Didn't they?
Edwardian.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Edwardian?
that's the next one.
Edwardian.
Next
Slightly
one up.
older than Victorian.
Yeah.
That's the next one up. Down. Up.
Is it Edwardian or Georgian? Which order would it be? Yeah.
A good point. Georgian. Edward George.
Divorced, beheaded. No, hang on. That's
Yeah.
different, right?
They're Anne Boleyn houses.
Berlinish.
Anyway, let's not fall out. I don't think anyone's going
They're
to.
old, all right?
I don't think anyone's going to write in. I need to know the age of these houses.
Just look it up. What's the internet's for?
So they lived in
Just Google it or something.
yeah Kemp
I'm
Street.
going to get a badge for that one, or a t-shirt. That's my catchphrase. Just Google it or something. So having moved into Kemp Street, Mancini, he took with him, among other things, a large trunk, which he used he threw a cloth over it, used as a coffee table in his
Yep.
flat in Kemp Street.
Yep.
Despite the smell,
Oh,
there was an odour from this suspicious coffee table.
Oh right, okay.
all the coffee that was spilt on top of it.
Possibly. There was a certain amount of oozing
Oh God.
that some people observed and noticed.
Okay. Yep.
Apparently not
These
enough
people
to...
never learn.
They never learn. There's one thing about criminals, they don't learn.
Yeah.
Do your research.
Just think about it. Or move. Here's the thing: move out. Don't take the body with you.
Yeah.
So Mancini, because he was known to the police, Kay suddenly being absent was noticed.
Sure.
Mancini was questioned, and in a panic, he fled.
As you would.
as
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
would. There's
I thought
fleeing.
you were going to say he confessed, but
No, he did not.
he didn't because no one knows he did
Well, at
it.
least he didn't row out from the shore and feed it to a shark, because that never works out either.
Funny how little
No, it
works,
doesn't, does it?
Yeah, so he was questioned about Kay's disappearance, and he basically fled. But because police were investigating the unrelated trunk case, and Kemp Street is quite near Brighton Station.
It is.
They
yep.
were searching places near the station, and they searched the flat at Kemp Street. There they found the trunk with the other body, with Kay's body.
Oh.
You wanna see a dead body?
On first search?
Yeah, probably if experience has taught us anything, probably went in 4 times.
Yeah.
If they found it. Yeah.
So how many bodies have been found in cases?
3 cases, 2 bodies.
And where were the Brighton-based trunks? In the same place? In the same.
One was found in the station.
Oh, in the station.
And in searching
Yes, sorry, in the
addresses
lost-
around the station, they found
lost property.
in the lost property. They found in the flat in Kemp Street. They found the second body. The body
Because they
of
were,
Kay.
but because they were kind of knew about Mancini anyway,
Yeah,
because they were.
They knew
people
they
were
were a
aware
bit
of him.
dodge.
But that was total luck that they hang on,
Completely.
there's another.
Completely.
Right. Okay. Right.
So Kay's gone missing. They know this couple. Or to say gone missing, she's suddenly absent.
Yes.
And they know this couple, and they think, well, hang on a minute, that's a bit weird. So they go and ask him a couple of questions.
Yeah.
He panics, so he runs away. Well, not runs away from the police, but after the interview, he goes. He's gone.
Okay.
But
It
unrelated,
smells.
Meanwhile, there's another group of bobbies who are
In the
investigating
station.
the Brighton trunk
Yeah.
in the station. They go,
Yeah,
let's search addresses nearby, see if we can dig up some clues, because we don't know
What,
who
any
this is,
old,
we can't
any
identify.
old addresses?
Basically, yeah.
Oh, okay. Right.
And one of the addresses they search is this place at Kemp Street. And they go, yeah, it's another trunk here.
Was it
With
the other
oozing and
Was it
smelling.
the other half?
No, it's another person.
This is completely. Oh, I know it's another trunk, but
It's
I
another
wondered
person.
if it was the same.
Second body.
Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
Okay, let's recap.
Yeah,
First body,
There's too many.
unidentified.
Two trunks.
2 trunks. King's Cross, legs, torso.
Oh,
Brighton.
yeah. Nice feet.
Unidentified, 25-year-old, pretty-feeted person.
Yes. Okay.
No head, no arms.
No head, no arms. Trunk number 2, unrelated, Violet K, Kemp Street.
Violet K, and it definitely was her, was it?
Definitely was
Yeah,
her.
right, okay.
She was a complete person.
Crammed,
body,
was it a
head,
bigger,
legs.
bigger trunk?
Wallet, birth, dental records.
Nice
all-
feet.
Nice feet. No mention of her feet, weirdly enough. Unremarkable. Her feet.
Yes.
Well, incomplete investigation.
Yes, but what are her feet like? That's what I'm interested to know. There are channels for that sort of thing. I understand.
Just Google it or something.
Yeah.
Okay. Right, I'm up to speed now.
You're up to speed. Brighton was known at the time as the queen of the watering places. That was one of its convoluted nicknames.
Queen of the water.
Queen
That
of
doesn't
the
mean
watering
anything.
places. A place of like water and baths and sea air and
Oh, really?
health
Okay.
and spa, vigour. that sort of
Watering
Don't
places.
really say watering place.
No, you don't.
Might
It's
say
rubbish.
watering hole.
This is nearly 100 years ago, so
Yeah.
they don't want to be called a hole. It's a watering place. It's a place of taking the waters, you see.
Right.
Like
okay.
bath. Yeah.
Although having
Yeah.
found 2 bodies, it got the
You got
very
another
amusing nickname, Queen of the Slaughtering Places.
Right. Hilarious. Right. Oh, okay.
Do you see? Clever.
Yeah. I mean, it's true.
Well, yeah. Is that a slaughter too?
Well, we don't know, I suppose, do we? But
2 or 1.5, technically.
what else rhymes with? Here we go. What else rhymes with water? Then we can.
Queen of the... I suppose you could say quartering places. That's much the same.
Not bad.
It depends what happened to the.
Well, one of the body was
Halved.
halved. Well, the arms, the halving place. Well, we didn't get the head and arms.
Right, so nearly a quarter.
Water.
Call it a quarter.
The place why I water.
Okay.
Oh dear.
We'll come back to
Moving
this.
swiftly on. So, Kay's body was taken for post-mortem. Guess who did that?
Hey.
Our mate. Pillsbury Doughboy.
The Pillsbury Doughboy.
Yeah.
Sir Bernard Spillsbury.
Yeah.
Mancini was found and arrested in southeast London. He'd fled to London.
Could have gone anywhere, couldn't
Interestingly,
he? He could have actually gone to Paris.
Could have, yeah. So it goes to trial, 1934 December. They call witnesses. One witness said that Mancini asked for a false alibi. Some other...
He asked for a false alibi. Don't you mean he gave a false alibi?
No, he asked them to provide
Can
an
I
alibi.
have a false alibi?
2 false alibis and a packet of crisps.
And
please.
not guilty.
No, he asked someone to provide him with a full salary.
Yep.
And there was a witness that said that Mancini claimed, I gave the missus the biggest hiding of her life.
Yeah, right.
But then, as I say, other witnesses said the pair had been a happy couple. Tempestuous relationship, as I say, but nonetheless. Now, Mancini himself, he claimed that he found her dead and he hid her body because of his criminal record. And the defence case was that, she was a prostitute with a feisty character and could have been killed by just about anybody, frankly. And
Right, okay, because she knew some wrong-uns.
She knew some wrong-uns.
Right, okay.
And as a result, at the end of the trial, he was found not guilty and released.
Really, because of that?
Guilty of her murder?
Of her murder, yeah.
Good grief.
Because the defence went along that.
Yeah.
Can't trust her.
Anyone could have done it.
Really?
He found her dead.
And it was
he was
found
scared.
it was found in his house.
In his coffee
under
yeah. He said he hid the body because he's got a criminal record. He didn't want to get what he was getting, which was done, stitched up like a kipper.
Yeah, it's a bit flimsy, isn't it? And they were a couple.
Reasonable doubt. It worked. They were a couple, yeah. But she was a prostitute. He said he found her dead and he hid the body. So technically, his crime would have been, I suppose, interfering in the, in a burial.
Tampering with the
evidence. Yeah.
Is that, yeah. Right.
But he was found not guilty of murder and released.
If you said your wife's not feeling very well, and then me and Mark find her in a wheeled suitcase in your front room, I would say that you did it.
I wasn't there when it never happened.
Just a note for the future, in case you're wondering.
Yeah.
Just so you know.
In case there's any doubt. We're going to say...
Would you agree?
He done it. Oh yeah, I'd say that regardless of the circumstances.
Even if we didn't find her.
If we didn't find anything, nothing out of the ordinary at all. So, Bruce definitely killed
or
someone.
not wheeled?
As the audience will attest.
He's definitely killed, he's definitely killed somebody. Don't know who. Don't know what he did with the body. But there's definitely something
Just
going on.
haven't caught him yet.
Yeah, time will tell. Maybe in 42 years' time he'll confess, because that is what Mancini did.
42 years later was...
Watch the gears grind.
1975. Nix.
Yes, 1970 Nix.
Was it?
Yeah, 1976. He made a confession to a reporter from the News of the World.
All right, I confess. I did it, you hear? And I'm glad. Glad, I tell you.
So 42. He spent 42 years a free man.
Yes.
And sorry, what did he say to the news? I did it.
I done it. No, what he said was that she attacked him with a hammer.
What are you doing with that damn hammer?
He wrestled the hammer off her. She demanded it, and he threw it at her, and it whacked her in the head, and she did.
What a load of rubbish.
What a load of rubbish. Well, it's a confession. Right. It still doesn't matter how nonsensical.
They accidentally threw a hammer at her left temple.
Yeah. Over and over. No.
With hammers. Right, okay. So why did he confess to a
he's
newspaper
not guilty,
reporter?
So, it's not going to be retried. They could try him for perjury, but
he could have done that a week later, though, couldn't he?
Yeah, but
in 1934,
79.
But he chose to wait a long time.
Yeah, like I say, it was 40 odd years had gone by. In 1976, and confessed to a reporter.
Was there some statute that had expired at that point, or did he just?
I don't honestly know, but I
don't
think
like he needed the money.
Or get it off his chest.
Yeah. Well, there wouldn't have been any evidence other than confession. He could have withdrawn it at any time. He could have been prosecuted for perjury and.
Yeah,
but
he
it's
can't
not,
be prosecuted
not in the
for lying
public
to a newspaper.
True, and it's the news of the world, so come on.
It's as good as the truth.
Well, yeah.
Right. So was there any fallout from that?
Nope. Case closed.
Because he was not guilty originally.
Yeah.
Blimey.
So we have one solved case.
Yes, we do. I've just remembered the other one. Yeah,
and one unsolved case. And the solved case did not get a conviction. How disappointing after all that.
And the unsolved case was never
unsolved.
Or solved.
Or solved, to put it another way.
I'm getting a very empty feeling inside.
Unlike the trunks.
Yeah.
You would have thought it was an open and shut case.
Me. Bomb. Right. There was a recent, I think he was a spy actually. There was a recent ish murder. I think it was in Pimlico, where someone was found in a suitcase. But it's not usually a receptacle for bodies, as far as I'm aware.
Well, again, it's not the first time the body's been thrown in a trunk. Usually cast out to sea.
Right.
But not generally left in lost property or lost luggage offices.
Or turned into a table.
I guess you'd have to put a fair bit in the trunk, though, with it. Because bodies float, trunks
Rocks.
float.
Put rocks in it.
Yeah.
Rocks.
Well, hang on, the trunk's very heavy, isn't
Yeah,
it?
but it's made of wood.
Oh, right.
It's made of
Wood
wood.
tends to float,
Yeah.
Or rot.
eventually.
Yeah. Right. Very interesting. Join us next week.
There will always be, because of it's an interesting trope. You know, the body in the
It
box.
is, isn't it? That's why are we talking about it? It's because you get loads of murders, but they are not always put in a everyday item. Do you think that's why we're talking about it? I mean, I know it's an unsolved case, and
It's interesting because I think for me,
it was found on the beach. No one would even. It's on the beach.
Yeah.
No one. It wouldn't be. We would not be doing a podcast about it.
No, for me, what's interesting about it is that they were looking into one murder,
Yes,
and then
yes,
they failed
yes.
to solve that, but they solved another one in the process.
That was exactly
the same.
form.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just weirdly coincidental,
Yeah.
and this serendipitous discovery of this second body.
I had a look at unusual things that have been discovered and lost and found.
Of course.
at train stations.
I thought that sentence was going to
I had a
be
look
worse
at,
than it did.
I had a look at some bodies in some trunks.
Unusual things have been lost and found, left forever in
Yeah.
lost and found.
Because that's sort
Here we
of how
go.
they found this body, wasn't it? It was just in the lost and
Did you
found.
find that record I left on a train in 1983?
I bet they did.
Is this true?
Yeah. I left
Which one did you leave?
I can't remember. It was a Monty
You can't
Python double
remember?
vinyl. I don't remember the title of it.
Well, you can't say that to the person.
No.
Can't remember. Well, was it yours? I don't know.
Well, it was a limited edition double vinyl Monty Python album. How many of them are in the... Hang on, I'll just
I
go
know.
to the Monty Python vinyl section and see if I can find it.
Well, there was one.
Was there?
In 1983 there was.
Well, yeah, probably true, actually.
Anyway, yes.
Well, I came to the conclusion that there is no such thing as an unusual thing found in
Yeah.
the lost and found section at a railway station. It's just all of the things that people have.
Yeah.
There's nothing unusual.
I see you have found a sacred peach tree of heavenly wisdom.
But you find things
Full-size
like...
inflatable shark. That's not an unusual thing.
Not in my house.
No.
There's like prosthetic arms
Jesus.
and legs, aren't there? Loads
Yeah,
and loads of all that rubbish. Like all manner of things that shouldn't be left and never
Yeah.
picked up again.
Yeah.
Walking sticks and umbrellas, I've
that's
got
all right.
loads of them.
Yeah.
Obviously, yeah.
Well, yeah, but I never,
Must be a
I never
forest
understand
of
it, though.
umbrellas and
It was raining when they came in, it was raining when they left. No umbrella.
Was it though?
And they couldn't walk unaided on their way in.
But
And
they
yet they could-
cartwheeled out.
But they were they sprinted away.
On the underground, they did find £150,000 in cash in an unmarked envelope.
Now that was mine.
Yeah.
And the only unusual thing about that was that somebody handed it in.
Yeah, true. God bless the honest people.
I know.
There is a movie called, unsurprisingly, The Brighton Trunk Murders. Came out in 2002.
What's that all about?
I'll let everyone guess. I'll leave you to use your imagination. There's a couple of docudramas, one called Murder Maps, one called Murder by the Sea, dramatisations of true stories. And one from 2017, Murder Maps, it's first episode of the third season, and there's another, Murder by the Sea did an episode on it as well. So, again, in like 2018.
Recently.
So these are all in the present century. So, but I can't find, normally in these things we talk about stuff from the 30s, then by the 1950 or something there would have been a film. But
It does sound as if it's kind of a film, really, isn't it? And a kind of gritty
'cause it'd be a nice
black and
twist,
white
wouldn't it?
drama. Like, like The Third Man.
Yeah, I was going to
I'm
say
thinking
one
of
of
that,
those sorts
basically.
of... Yeah.
Or, I'm obviously thinking of Brighton Rock, but that's just because I've got Brighton on the brain.
Yeah,
but
that would work just as well. Yeah, you could make it noirish.
Yeah, because that's what it is.
Yeah, I would think there would be something. Yeah, to my mind, I immediately think, oh, this is a classic 50s kind of tale. But no, everything seems to be quite recent, which is interesting that they're revisiting it. Maybe it just hasn't been used
yet. They're working up to it.
Yeah. We'll see.
I had a pair of Brighton trunks once.
Of course you did.
My grandmother crocheted them for me.
What are you talking about?
My mum always used to be given knitted swimwear. Yeah.
It's not until you come out of the sea that you realise how much they chafe.
Yeah, and also weigh.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And sag.
A sag. Yeah. They're at your knees before you get halfway up the beach.
So now when we say trunks, we're talking about a swimming costume.
We are. Yeah. No, not a knitted suitcase. No wonder you could.
You go into the sea with your knitted trunks. And you come in.
No, we are.
No
we're
trunks.
talking about a swimming costume. The
bathing suit.
It would. Well, obviously, it would just like a woolly jumper. Very heavy.
Every child of the 70s had knitted water wear.
It's the weight of that salt water
that has made you the man you are.
Yeah, it is. If anyone wants to see those in action,
no.
I recommend
after what I said.
This is a total sidestep. I recommend the French film Le Mari de la Coiffeuse, or the hairdresser's husband.
It is a great film.
Excellent sequence of a
because he's wearing
knitted.
Oh
yeah. No, that is a fantastic movie. Actually.
It is, wonderful movie.
So this week's movie recommendation is going to be nothing to do with the case we talked about, but we can heartily recommend The Hairdresser's Husband as a great movie.
That's all for this time. If you want to know more about what we've discussed over the course of this episode, just Google it or something. You can see daily true crime updates on our Facebook, Twitter or Instagram. You can email us or you can support the show with a PayPal donation. And links to all of those are on our website at truecrimediary.co.uk. Don't forget to send us a review or post one in your podcast service if you can, and all 5-star reviews will get a shout out on a future episode. Join us next time when we'll be similarly discussing and digressing on another event in true crime history. Until then, my thanks to Jed and Rue. My name's Mark, and we'll see you on the next date in our True Crime Diary.